Wow. You are all welcome. I would rather be a slave. Sorry. Let me begin again. I would rather be a rebel than to be a slave. That was said by Emmeline Pankhurst. Rebels and non-conformists are often the pioneers and designers of change. That was said by Indira Gandhi. We are rebels for a cause, poets with a dream, and we won't let this world die without a fight. That was said by Albert Camus. Welcome to Monday Motivational Live Show with me, your host, The Prince. And today is a unique day because it's my birthday. And I was so surprised my birthday this year fell on a Monday. So I decided that this Monday we are going to have a special show whereby we are going to have speakers from all over speak to us. And guys, guess what? My friends, my guests are here already in the studio. I have with me in the studio my dear friend Akemi Kajihara, all the way from Japan. You are welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Yes, that is Akemi, all the way from Japan. You are truly welcome. You are welcome. Okay? Okay, there's somebody at the background. Yes, he's in the studios now. Yeah, Justin, that is Justin Cronan, my dear friend, all the way from the United States of America. You are welcome, Justin.
Thank you very much and happy birthday. I love to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Welcome.
And then we have in the studio with us Jeremy Roadrock, all the way from the USA. You're welcome, Jeremy. Jeremy, your sound, it's like something is wrong with your sound. You need to work on your sound, please. Check your sound. And then we have one more person in the studio already, Aiko Edward Fish from the USA. You are welcome.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's pronounced Eco, and a very happy birthday. I'm honored to be a part of this celebration and rebel for freedom.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, if you listen to the quote, I love that last quote. He said, "We are rebels for a cause, poets with a dream, and we won't let this world die without a fight." I think that's my story. And today, our topic is rebel. That's what we are dealing with. Rebel. That's what we are talking about. And I'm going to ask Jeremy, is your sound okay now? Okay. While we wait for Jeremy, I'm going to ask Jason Cronan to begin with us. What do you have to say about rebel? And Jason Cronan has earned a master's degree in exercise science. He's a exercise physiologist, holistic health, and fitness coach and motivational speaker. He's here with us today to talk to us about rebel and what it is and what we need to learn from rebel. Because anytime you talk about rebel, some people think it's negative or everything about that word is negative. But Justin is going to tell us something about rebel. You're welcome, Justin.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I look forward to speaking about being a rebel. Like you said before, my thing about being a rebel is the positive side. I feel like if you can go to war, you can. We should not focus on the war aspect. I always learned from my martial art background that if you can hurt someone, you should be able to heal someone. At the same time, I feel like we should heal more people than hurt more people. The same thing goes for poverty. I feel if we could bring a person, if we could send a person to outer space, we sure can help people in poverty. I think before sending rockets to outer space, we should help the people that are on Earth and help them actually succeed and do well. And if they want to get out of their situation, definitely help them and have a program for that. So I feel like we should stand up and heal more people than hurt more people, as well as help more people in the world than sending and spending so much money outside of the world. If you can blow up, if you can send a rocket to outer space into Mars, you can certainly help who's on the planet. And I really feel that's most important. Start at the bottom and work your way up. That's what I feel like we should stand up for. And I'm all about helping people and making sure that I can make a difference and speak about making a difference. But thank you very much.
Jason, that's a very powerful beginning. I will tell you, if we could send people out of space, spending money, wasting money, going out of space, then what about people in poverty in Africa, people in poverty in Asia, people in poverty in other parts of the world? What are we doing about them? And so, in fact, I thank you so much for that. I know I'm ready to learn today. So I'm not just willing to say so much. I just want to learn. I'm here to learn. I'm here to receive. So, yeah, Akemi, let's go to Japan. Let's travel all the way to Japan and let's hear my dear friend Akemi. First of all, Akemi, please tell me what's your time over there right now?
It's 12:08 a.m.
Oh my
to
God.
0 a.m.
Wow, 12 a.m. Thank you so much, Akemi, for making this sacrifice. You know, even sometimes that we talk, it's always at odd hours for you, but you are always there. I really appreciate you, Akemi. May God bless you. Thank you so much. So, Akemi, please talk to us. What do you understand about being a rebel?
First of all, I did not sacrifice my time to be here. I wanted to celebrate your birthday and
Okay.
also kind of have the blessings in your life and the people that are following you and the people who are here to be really blessed on having such a person around them so that they can be encouraged and have things happen in their life and change.
Thank you.
I am, yes, and I am a heart-centered life. I would say innovator. I used to call myself a healer. I really believe that words have different energies behind them. And I work on subconscious minds and to really shift people's lives and have a difference in every person's life so that it can actually go into a bigger energy shift in the world. So I believe the word rebel for me can really mean different things. So that's why I asked when I was asked to come on the show. But I believe that there are things happening in life. Everybody is, and it's the same for every single person, even the poor, even the rich. So what I believe is having a mind inside you that tells yourself that there can be a change. For me, that'll be a rebel. Not something to go against. It'll be something to accept yourself and allow yourself to be the person who you want to be and have the life that you want. So that's my idea. And we can't hear you now. And now we can't hear you again.
Sorry. That's
Okay,
awesome.
we got you now.
Yes, that was awesome. Thank you so much for that, Akemi. Accepting yourself could even make you a rebel. As in, accepting yourself is already rebelling against the norm that wants you not to accept yourself. You see, everyone created is created by God. Nobody came into this world on his own. So you have no choice but to accept yourself. who God has made you to be, who God has created you to be. You've got to accept yourself. You've got to know who you are and accept who God has made you to be. In fact, I believe that's a very powerful message. And I want to go over to my friend, Echo. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce it properly, but just bear with me. Echo Edward Fish. And he's a very unique person. In fact, I'm so glad to have him on the show with me today. I would want him to say one or two things about himself and then tell us about what it takes to be a rebel or what he understands about being a rebel. Thank you very much, Echo.
You're very welcome, John Bull. And it's ECO, even though it's spelled ICO, which ECO is a spiritually gifted name to me. It stands for Incredibly Caring Organism.
Wow.
And and with that, I am being a part of rebelling in causing a paradigm shift in how humanity relates to sexuality and sexual expression. And I call that enlightened consent. And what it stands for is, as long as you and the people that are directly involved are consenting and you're honoring your existing relationship agreements, it does not matter how anyone else thinks or feels about what you're choosing to do. I am all about authentic sexuality, whatever feels right, whatever feels good for you and the people that you choose to go in love, however you choose to go in love, however many you choose to go in love. It's all okay within that container of consent. And you don't have to do what the rest of the world or the mainstream says is the one true right or only way of how you're supposed to have relationships. You have a right to love who you want and how you want, when you want, within that consent.
Thank you very much, Iko. Thank you very much for that. I want to ask you a question. Now, you said that it's okay to love whoever you want to love, to go with whoever you want to go with, as far as they accept you. Now, does that mean that what about when it's against the rules, or how will I put it? Maybe, or will I say rules? What about when it's not, what about when your own conscience, it's pricking you, it's making you know that this thing is not right, or this relationship is not okay, or this thing is not okay? What do you do at that point?
Listen to what it is that your body, heart, and soul are telling you. If you say that this isn't right for me, this isn't authentic for me, this doesn't feel good to me, stop, leave. You don't have to stay. You are not obligated to be with anyone for your entire life. You are the only person that is guaranteed to be with you for as long as you're alive. It doesn't matter how long you've been in a relationship with them, and you get to do what is right for you first and foremost. And part of that is being able to set healthy boundaries, which can be done by saying something like, this is something that is for me, and it's nothing against you. And that can include up to saying, I need to go and complete this relationship. It's not healthy for me to have you as a part of my life. This is a boundary that's for me. You're not bad, you're not wrong, and I need to go and step away so I can be in right relationship with myself first and foremost.
Now, if I may ask you, some people go to the extreme. For example, the other day there was a news of somebody who got married to an animal. So in that case, do you really think such people are really happy when they go to that extreme and say that, oh, I'm free to love whoever I want to love or whatever I want to love, and somebody goes and get married to an animal? How is he going to get mutual understanding or even communication in such a relationship?
that is a very unique thing for going and getting married to an animal. That is a little bit outside of my own realm. It is hard to go and guarantee that this animal is going and giving consent, and for the most part, I focus on relationships with human beings with other human beings. I do know of others who like to role play as animals, and that's a little bit different from what you're talking about in this news story.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now let's go to Jeremy Road Rock. Are you able to talk to us now? Oh my God. No, 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 no. Just saying.
Yes.
I love to hear you say something. Oh my God, those words you spoke touched my heart. I just want to hear you. I just want to listen to you all day. I wish I could. Yeah, talk to me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this conversation because I feel like everyone has their own mindset and different way of thinking about what a rebel actually is. And I like Iko was saying, like being your own self, and then also Akimi saying about the words have frequencies. We all have frequencies, which I love, and I actually listen to frequency music that help balance my mind and my body. And I think you need to take care of yourself first before taking care of anyone else. I always tell people you're number one. So if you're healthy and strong, you can take care of others. And that's my biggest outlook on life. If I'm healthy, I can take care of my loved ones and my friends and then expand from there and help others in the world. So you got to be your own rebel and take care of your own self. Like Iko was saying, be your own self. And then go from there and expand outward and help others. And I feel like each of us can help others just by being positive, giving good love and good energy. Like for you today, happy birthday to everyone in you and all the people in your environment. I always wish good positive thoughts for everyone that you're helping. And that's a really important part that I feel is being positive. The one thing that was told to me just recently from an author that I know, he wrote the book called The Art of Being Awesome. Every day you wake up, you say, I'm going to have an awesome day. Even if it's a negative environment, you can still make your environment what it is by saying, I'm going to have an awesome day. And you always tell people, if someone asks you how your day is going, instead of saying, oh, I wish I can go and go back to sleep, you say, I have an opportunity to make a difference or opportunity to have a great day. Or if you're going to work, say, I have an opportunity to go to work. I'm not just going to work to go to work. So that opportunity is what really is what you're trying to strive for, and make everything an opportunity. Even if it's not the greatest opportunity, you still have a life, you're still living, you're still breathing, and you're able to really make a difference. And that's what I feel is you got to make a difference. And that's what we're doing today, is talking to people to make a difference. And in a positive way. We're not going against the grain. We're just talking positive. That's what I feel. And I really appreciate it. You're letting me sharing everything.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. That's awesome. Jeremy, are you able to talk to us? No, no. Okay. While we wait for Jeremy, Akemi, let me come to
Yes.
you. So, how do you feel like relating with other people outside of Japan?
How do I feel like relating other people out of Japan? I do this all the time. Um, as you can tell that I am not speaking in Japanese, I'm speaking in English. So this is a language that I use to connect with the people outside of Japan. And it's an honor for me to be able to connect with the people in your area, and then also to other areas. And I am so happy that I get to share my energy here, as well as celebrating someone's birthday, the presence in life. And also, I want to share something about what Jason and Aiko said about things, about how to accept, like to be yourself and to feel what's good for you and leave, or to really be the positive things in life. I really believe in that. And I also believe that all we create in our life is what we are learning from. And that's my biggest thing, is whatever you create in your life is what you are learning from, to obtain the virtues that you need to go and do things in life that you're here for. So every single person has a meaning. So like you, the prince, you were born today, which means that you came for a purpose and a reason. And it's all something that is all embracing with love and joy, and the creations that you create and co-create with people around you. So I just wanted to share that, so that what you do is amazing. And I'm sure that I will not be able to do that. Of course, the other people, Jason, Aiko, I will not be able to do whatever they do, which kind of means that all the things that you are being involved with, the individuals that you meet, has something that they co-create with you and learn and grow. And I think that's very important. And I'm sure it comes from a place of love, which does not go against anything. It's
Mm,
always supporting us. And the anger energy that we may possess when we feel like we go against something is not going to help us, or the fear that we have is not going to help us to move forward. It's going to create the anger and fear in front of us. So I would really love to share that the love and the kindness and all the generosity that you have is probably being embraced by them, the people who you share your love with. And
mm,
that's what I felt like sharing with.
mm. Awesome, Akemi. Awesome. You said something there, and I wish you to throw a little more light on it. You said the fear is not going to help us, because you see, when somebody says, somebody may be gentle and then be a rebel because he's not going with the norm. He's not going with the usual. He's not going with what everybody's doing. He decides to be different. He may be looking gentle, but he's different. He may be doing his own thing, but he's different. Now, in that process, sometimes there could be fear, because when you are not doing what everybody is doing, the tendency comes for you to be afraid that, oh, what about what people will say? What about how they will take you? What about how they will relate with you? So I want you to throw a little more light on that, that the fear will not help you.
Yes, the fear will not help you. It's going to attract the same energy of fear into your life. And fear is lack of love. So when you have fear, it's lack of love. And of course, it's kind of interesting that you shared about not being the same as others. I am from a place that everybody expects everybody to be the same.
Mm,
And but I'm here to share that every individual is different. So if you're
yes.
comparing yourself to someone else, your next door neighbor or the people that you're talking with, it always comes with, hey, they have this, I don't have this. So why
Mm,
do I not have this? Anger and fear comes up. I may not be loved by God. I may not be getting this because of that. And the fear kicks in. Or maybe you have a fear that really pushes you into, this might happen to me again. And that really doesn't help you to create. It actually creates the fear again, because you're stuck in the past when the fear was
mm,
created.
mm,
That's what I mean.
mm. Wow, thank you so much, Akemi. So, my dear audience, those of you watching from all over Africa and beyond, and those that will watch the replay, one thing that we have learned there is that we must not give room to fear. I noticed something that the soldiers that go to battle, as Russia is going to Ukraine, those soldiers, those Russian soldiers, they are afraid because they don't know what is really going to happen, what Ukraine is really going to do to them. And as Ukraine soldiers are going against the Russian soldiers, those soldiers, they are also afraid because they don't know. So fear is something that is there. If you give yourself to it, it will overwhelm you. If you give yourself to it, it will overtake you. It will fill you up, and it will make you not to live your life. It will make you not to give birth to your dreams. So you've got to, limit that fear. You've got to make sure you don't allow that fear to weigh you down, to demoralize you, to paralyze you. Don't allow that fear to succeed in your life. You have what it takes to make it. Don't allow the fear to kill your dream. Please take note of that. Jeremy, can we hear you now?
Third time. Did it work?
Woo!
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Huzzah!
Yeah.
Finally, mother father. So to go back to your original question about rebellion, right? About being rebels.
Yeah.
It really is, there is a status quo in the world, right? There's a baseline that we're seemingly brainwashed into, that we all have to compete with each other. Look at everything we've accomplished on the world throughout history. Everything we as a species have achieved, that was with competition. That was with, I'm going to take from you and not let you take from me. Imagine if we could get our species, our planet, 8.3 plus billion people, we could all start cooperating, and we could all start co-creating, and we could all build things together to support and encourage each other. That would be the ultimate act of rebellion, because as a species, right, as individuals, when we're put under stress, when we're afraid, we go to an instinctive drive. I have to protect myself, and then I have to protect my family, and then my city, and then my town, and then my. So if we could revolt against those instincts and get out of, not that instincts are wrong, but if we could be in a place of abundance and say, well, the more I help you, the more I have people to play with to help me back, right? As I used to teach martial arts, and it was the idea, if you help everyone around you to feel warm, big, and happy, who's going to want to kick your butt? Nobody. And if anybody even tried, how many friends would you have that are available to come help you? Because you made sure everybody else felt good first. So the life I live, the work I do, is all about how do we create games worth winning? You feel warm, big, and happy. I feel warm, big, and happy. It's either win-win or there's no deal. We have to figure out, how do we have that consent? How do we have that permission? How do we create that you feel good and I feel good? And also keep in mind, just like in music, two notes on the keyboard right next to each other doesn't sound too good because they're too similar and they crash into each other. Versus if you go one note over and then, we get a resonance and then we get a reinforcement. So you don't have to like everybody. You don't have to get along with everybody. But let's be friendly, because that's the standard we want to hold. And that's how we begin to change. So sometimes just, you don't feel like it. Maybe your day's not going so good. Smile at somebody else. Help lift somebody else up. Give them some positive energy. And all of a sudden, when you help dig somebody out of their hole, you find a hole to bury your own problems, and your problems don't seem to be as big anymore. All of us are superior to somebody in some way, and all of us are inferior to somebody in some way. So let's shore each other up. Let's build each other up. That's how we transform. And that's instead of fighting against something, let's fight towards something that's bigger than any of us. You said it earlier, John Bull, perfectly. We're all children of God. We're all from somewhere. So let's remember that source and honor each other as unique works of art, unique creations in time and space. Each of us is a unique expression of energy. Each of us is a unique one of a kind. And from the dawn of time to the end of creation, you're the only you. So let's watch what you do and be amazing, and that'll help us how we could be amazing. That's the ultimate win-win.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jeremy. That is so powerful, I'll tell you. Echo, I want to ask you something, Echo. There is a question in my mind that I want to ask you. Many people, they you deal with relationship, right? Echo, can you hear me? Yeah, you deal with relationship, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes,
Now,
I
there
can
is
hear
this
you, and yes, deal
suspicion.
with relationships.
Okay, there's this suspicious, as in whereby people are suspicious of one another. You are somewhere, you want to do something. Sometimes you have a vision, you have an idea, you have a dream, but they won't allow you to bring out that idea because they are suspicious. They feel you want to take over. They feel you want to be a leader. They feel you want to. How do you relate with that? Yeah.
That's an excellent question. And what I am hearing in that is the idea of people being more fearful of what is it that will happen to me if someone else comes into power. If I have to go and submit and maybe try to be forced to do something that is inauthentic to me or doesn't feel good to me. And that's one of the main reasons that I advocate for self-autonomy, for being able to restore agency and choice to people. Because we see a lot of examples of abuses of power and where we may not have had choice, especially when we were growing up. And so it can feel threatening to be like, I don't know what will happen if this certain leader comes to power. How are they going to influence, and how are they going to influence my life? What kind of impact will it have on me? And what is it going to mean for me? Like, Putin made a decision at a leadership level. We're going to invade Ukraine. This is literally impacting millions of lives, most of which are like they're doing their thing and have absolutely nothing to do with whatever the reasoning is behind this war and this invasion going on right now. And with that, I hold the fearful parts tenderly in my heart, and at the personal level, so remember you have agency and choice, and if you want to choose to sit and have leadership by someone else, you do have a degree of choice in that, and the larger that you go and look at it, it becomes a lot easier when it comes to the self. Then when it comes to partnership, it gets more complicated. When you get to a community level, it gets even more complicated. When you get to a national and global level, it becomes really complicated because you have millions and billions of people that you're dealing with at this point.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, my dear friend. I really appreciate that. Now, let's come to you, Akemi, before I go to Jason. Akemi, please tell me, what do you have to say about creating peace in the world? Today we have a lot of people that want war. They want war. They want war. And they are all over in the world. In the US, you have them. In Japan, you have them. In Russia, you have them. In Africa, you have them. They want war. They want fighting. They don't want peace. But we need people that will rise up and rebel against war. People that will decide and say, I want to stand for peace. Just like that man, Mahatma Gandhi of India, he made a difference by standing for peace. So how in the present world today?
Good question. What I believe is war is something that if you look at is either one of them looking for a way to get their own peace. And when one wants from the other and the other wants from the other, it becomes of and taking and then destroying, which won't create peace. But if you really look at them as individuals, I would say understand where they're coming from and allow yourself to have your own peace and spread it out to the world. Because if you think about how many people is on the earth and how many people are doing war, if you look at from a big picture, I think if everybody starts to think how they can create peace, not fighting with it, not going against it, or not really saying that that's wrong, we should actually start creating the energy so that it expands into the world. And by the time they realize, they'll be kind of they might be infected by the fact that everybody is willing to have peace and having the peace in their mind. So that question was a really interesting question to ask me, because I believe that if every single person on this planet starts to really look at themselves and understand what peace, love, abundance, and all the virtues are, we can change the world. And that's where I stand. So it's not about going and saying, stand up for something. It's more about look at you and do the act of kindness to the people around you and spread it out to the world. And we can't hear you again. And we can't hear you again. And the Prince, can I share something?
Okay.
You know, when we were born on this planet, you know, we don't have any anger or any kind of an energy that we want to go against something. We're always needing something and trusting that we will get it. And then we get it from our moms. We get it from our dads. We get it from the people around us. Even someone who doesn't have a mom and dad, they'll get it from someone because we believe that we can. And it's an unconditional trust. So if we can get into that state and everybody starts to trust each other and love each other unconditionally, I think that's where peace is from. And everybody has that in their mind because we were all born that way. And I wanted to add that.
Akemi, that is so powerful. In fact, your last words there, it's more powerful than even the first ones. I tell you, it's really, really powerful. If that can happen, if we can have that kind of mindset, then there will be no competition. There will be no need of wars. There will be no need of fighting. Because you see, I used to wonder, do you know that like over here in Africa, you could have people from the same tribe. Okay, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that happened. Some weeks ago, I was in a state called Ibadan. Okay, or your state in Nigeria, and a city called Ibadan. And I met a young boy, and he told me something. He is from another state called River State. And do you know what he told me? He said his father and his mother come from two different villages, and these two villages are close to each other. These two villages are close to each other, and suddenly they started fighting each other because of land. You know, his mother is from one village, the father is from the other village. Now the two villages are fighting each other because of land, because of property. And guess what? The father had to say to the boy, leave the village, go far away so that you are not even killed. You can imagine. So you see, and it's like that all over the world. Even people that are brothers, that are related, fighting, you know, warring against each other. Why? Because they feel that, oh, they just have to collect it, or they just have to get it, or get it by force. But that idea you gave to us, that we need to return back to the way we were when we were kids. We didn't have to fight for things. We just believed. unexpected that we were going to get it. And it came to us naturally through our mother. You know, imagine the baby in the womb. The baby feeds from the food of the mother, and he doesn't fight to get it. He doesn't struggle to get it. The food just comes naturally to him while he's in the womb. So we should come to that point whereby we don't feel that, oh, we just have to fight to get this. We just have to kill somebody in order to get this. In order to make money, I've got to kill somebody. I've got to join a cult. Like over here, people can say, oh, they have to join a cult. They have to join one group or the other so that they can make money. But it shouldn't be like that. You should know that things can naturally come to you if you believe, if you expect, and if you have the right energies around you. Those things that you are expecting, they will naturally come to you. Thank you so much, Akemi, for that. That was really powerful.
So, can I gift everybody unconditional love, that the people who are watching this and you, from the time that you were conceived to the time now and beyond? Do I have permission to do this? If you say
Yes.
yes, you will receive? Okay, because
Yes.
I'm a healer. If I get a yes, I get to do this. Thank you so much.
So can we continue? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much, Akemi.
I'm done.
Now, dancing. I want to ask you, Jason, you have masters in exercise science. So the question I have for you is, how do you overcome sickness?
I'm glad you asked that question. An exercise physiologist, what most people might not realize, is a exercise scientist or a person that is familiar with the body from the cellular level all the way up to the external level, like the environment. And we work with kinesiology, the movement of the body. My biggest practice is what I do every morning. I do self-talk, positive self-talk in the mirror of who I am and how I love myself. Like Akemi was saying, positive. I say I'm a great person. I love myself. I care for myself. I'm going to take care of myself. Then I do meditation, and I actually have a wellness morning routine, an evening routine, and I also focus with exercise and yoga, and I have a whole list of items that I do every day. And how I help my clients is I do the same thing. I help them with their mindset, their physical, their mental, and emotional. And I meant to mention before about people with anxiety and fear, like you were saying. I feel that a lot of people have mental illness, and a lot of the issues with a lot of people in the world is mental illness. If someone's looking to hurt somebody, there's usually some kind of mental illness behind it. So they probably need some help to cope with their mental illness, but the only way they're coping is with violence. A lot of that has to do with the way their mindset is. If your mindset's one way and you're never shown a different way, or you were brought up with that mindset. My mindset's very open to all different nationalities, to all different religions, to all different ways of living. And I feel if you have an open mindset, you're more chances of you're not going to hurt somebody or want to hurt somebody. But for me, I always tell people you need to have a healthy mind. Work on that with meditation. You need to focus on yourself and physically so that you can help yourself emotionally, and with your diet, having a great diet. And I gave up caffeine for the most part. I stopped drinking a lot of caffeine. I feel great. So mentally, physically, emotionally, and what I take into my system is what I teach, and that's what I do for myself. And speaking to people and learning is a huge part of how I feel you can become healthy. It's a full package. I do a show called Wellness on the Go, where I focus on the 8 dimensions of wellness: your physical, emotional, intellectual, environmental, creative, financial, occupational. All those things intermesh with each other. And once you can intermesh all those things, you become optimal wellness or optimal health. That's what I'm focusing on, is optimal health for everybody. And it's baby steps. You just got to take baby steps and have somebody help you if you need it. There's a lot of people out there that may be expert in finances, which I'm not, will help me build my finances. Some people like myself are expert in health and wellness. I helped others to get health and wellness. Environment's a big part too. If you don't like your environment, you got to make your environment conducive to what you want to feel healthy. Same thing with your job. If,
If
for
you don't
instance, your
like your
job just
environment,
allows,
I'm sorry, Justin. I'm sorry, Justin. I want to
sorry.
say, Justin,
Mhm.
what you are giving so much value. I wish we could have a lot of time, but
Sure.
don't worry, we'll have another time, especially with you. You are giving so much, so much. And I wish my people can really get what you are saying, because what you are saying is so powerful. And I appreciate you for this information that you are giving to us.
Sure. You're very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can continue. Continue, please.
Oh yeah, I don't want to take up everyone's time, but I greatly appreciate it. But I want people just to focus on mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness and make yourself as healthy as possible by using yourself in the morning. Self-positive talk, gratitude, meditation, and physical activity and diet. Just focus on those 4 or 5 things and you'll feel much better and be healthier. And I really appreciate everyone here and give good energy, like Akimi was saying, to everybody out there. And honestly, I think with people that are going to war, they need to figure out a way where they can work together. I think we have the same mentality as cavemen as we do nowadays, just with more technology. We have the same mental
Mm.
mindset, and testosterone, guys, is the big problem.
Mm.
Testosterone, we all
Mm.
want to butt heads before talking to each other. We got to step back a little bit and say, hey, I'm angry at you. I'm mad at you. I want this. But sit back and think, is there a different way to get it? That's pretty much it. That's what I want to figure out and everybody else to figure out.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Justin.
You're welcome.
So it's clear from what you've said that you don't need a lot of money to be healthy. You don't need so much money. You don't have to be rich in order to be healthy. Basically, yourself, you've got to do self-talk. You've got to talk to yourself. You've got to speak to yourself. So it's a whole lot. And those points that you've given, I really appreciate them. Thank you so much, Justin. I want to go to Jeremy before we begin to wrap up this first show. Jeremy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I wanted to speak to us. How can somebody change their mindset? Because if you listen to all the speakers, they've been saying things about mindset. It's all in the mind. So when somebody has made up his mind or has a negative mindset or a mindset that brings limitation, that brings fears, how do you change that mindset so that you can begin to positively attract what you need to attract to yourself?
Yeah. So mindset's easy because nothing is true except that we believe it's true, right? We're not born racist, we're not born misogynistic, we're not born any of the problems. We have to learn those, we have to be taught those, we have to experience them. So when we have a belief, it's like a table, it has a support to it, right? The belief is the top of the table, and then the table has legs like this tripod. And so the belief itself is this feeling of certainty about what something means. I know this is true because I have legs on the table. We call those references. And so I know this is true because I had this experience and my friend had this experience and my culture taught me this and I read this and I saw it on a movie and this and this and this. And the more references you have, the belief gets stronger and stronger. Even if your belief is completely wrong and easily provable wrong, you'll still fight for your belief because you're like, no, but I have these references. I know this is true because. So what we have to start doing is asking intelligent questions to start breaking those references. Because if you try to attack the belief first, you're never going to get anywhere because they're going to argue for their belief no matter what. So you've got to go to how do they know that belief is true? What leads you to that? And then we question the references. We begin to soften, weaken, break the legs of the table. This tripod is only strong with 3 legs. Break any one of these legs, it will fall. And so as you ask questions respectfully, intelligently, with rapport, with influence, with consent and permission, but as you poke at someone's paradigm and ask questions about how they know that's true, how they know that belief is true, Because what's really interesting is our unconscious mind runs millions of bits of data a second. Our conscious mind only runs like 20 to 137. So if you had a hand holding out and I drop 2 million toothpicks and you only catch 20, and then I drop another 2 million toothpicks and you only catch 20, your brain's going to get blown out real fast. So every single second of our life, we are deleting, we are distorting, and we are generalizing everything we experience so that we can process it. But what that means on the good side, there's literally millions of interpretations of every single second of our life. So with the right questions, this is where it's helpful if you have a coach, but with the right questions, we can start to shift our awareness. And as we get new awareness, it's a key that opens a new door. And now we can step through and have a new way of operating. This is what I do with my clients is they've been through trauma, they've been through abuse, they've been through divorce, they've been through some really dark, nasty stuff. How can they get that they're happily even after? Even after all that happened, you can still be happy. It's not because, well, when I was a kid, I was rejected. Okay, but that was those people. And if your family was rejecting themselves, how can they give you what they didn't have? They never accepted themselves. How could they ever accept you? Oh, I never thought of that. Right, because you're asking them to give you something they didn't possess. You go to your parents and say, hey, give me $10. They don't have $10. What are you going to do? Right? Well, you hate me. No, I don't have it. I can't give what I don't have. And so as we start to play with that awareness, those references start to change, then our beliefs start to change. Our meaning starts to change. And now you've got a new way of operating, a new game that you can play, that you start to unpack and not take things so personal and not react so strongly and so fast and take things like, oh, it's my fault and I deserve this. Well, maybe not. Maybe they had their part to play and maybe they were still a work in progress and they're still learning too. And they did the best they knew how then. And today they would do something different. And so just by asking those questions and by softening the experience, we can begin to change things. My own martial arts instructor actually helped. There's an organization called the KKK or the Ku Klux Klan, and they are massively racist. They hate Black people. They've done all kinds of bad things. My Chinese martial arts instructor helped a grand wizard, like a very, very high level leader, leave the organization and not be racist anymore, studying Chinese martial arts. So you never know how you can impact someone's beliefs until you show up and you play and you ask questions. You don't take things personal. And that's how you begin to start softening, because a lot of the negativity that people throw at us, they weren't doing it on purpose. They had their own stuff going on inside, and we were part of that story, and we just got wrapped up in whatever they were going through, and we became that experience in the moment. We were just a character in their story, and if it wasn't us today, it would be somebody else tomorrow. And once you start to realize that and go, oh, that wasn't personal, they had their own drama. Oh, and all of a sudden you can just let stuff go, like taking off clothes. You don't need to wear them anymore. You just drop it. And it's like, oh, cool. I'm lighter and I'm freer and I don't have to carry that burden anymore. Go team. We can do that in our families. We can do that in our businesses. We can do that in our religions. We can do that in all of society with the right questions.
Powerful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for that. Now, I think this is going to be the last question I'm going to ask. And I'm asking everybody. Everybody's going to make a comment on this. And it's not really a question, but I want you, because you see, when we talk about rebel, it simply means change. It simply means those standing for change. It's not just about fighting, going against. No, but it's about change, not conforming, So I want to ask every one of you to share with us, as we begin to wrap up this first show, share with us a story, an experience, or a counter that's changed your life. So who do we start with? Who goes first? Okay, Justin. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this opportunity. Definitely, like Jeremy was saying, I did martial arts for my whole life, pretty much since I was 13 all the way up. And I feel like martial arts has significantly changed my life. My instructors, the people that helped me, my coaches, the people I train with, if it wasn't for martial arts, I feel like that helped me in my whole life as well as help other people. I felt like the discipline, the motivation, the teamwork, and working together really made me a different person. And I'm able to still use that today and practice it. And it's really powerful to build self-esteem and to build a mindset with an activity. And I feel the martial arts has changed me, and I'm able to help others by doing the same thing, teaching the martial arts and helping people, empowering them to feel comfortable in their own body and mind. And I feel that's what's made me a better leader, as well as have changed my life significantly. And I greatly appreciate sharing today.
Wow, wow. Let me say something about that, which means that you may feel you may have grown already, you might have gotten to a particular stage, but whatever stage you are in life, it's still an opportunity for you to learn. It's still an opportunity for you to grow. I'm speaking to our audience now. I'm speaking to those that are watching from all over the world. I'm speaking to those that will watch the replay. Wherever you are, whatever level you are, it's still an opportunity. So don't feel that you are too old to learn. Don't feel that you've gotten to a level you can't learn a new skill, you can't learn something new. No, it's not true. You can always learn something new. And that's one thing I love about the Americans. They have a lot of coaches, people that can coach them, people that can mentor them, and sometimes they pay for coach to coach them. That is something that sometimes is very difficult to find in this part of the world. But so I'm saying to my people, those of you watching this and those that will watch the replay, from the story that Justin has shared with us, it means that we can always learn. Don't ever get to a point in life where you say, I don't need to learn anymore. I'm okay. I'm perfect. And I'm all right. No, always create a room to learn. Always look for an opportunity to learn, because that opportunity to learn might simply be an open door for greater achievement in your life.
Absolutely.
Akemi?
Yes, me. So what I will say, I'm a mother of five. I have five children, and I live with my
Yeah.
mother and father. Yes. And when I had my third child, I became very sick, and I stopped creating blood in my body. And also, I had glaucoma. And what I have gone through was very painful, very something for me being 30 something years old. It was not something that I thought I can get out of. But by believing in myself, believing in the power of love, and also having to have this passion of wanting to see my children grow and wanting to see
Mm,
the differences and the changes actually led me to a healing modality, which is called theta healing, and actually changed my life by believing in the unseen power, which is love, in the world to change, to start creating change in my life. So I went from the very bottom to very healthy now. I have no problems whatsoever, and I am just doing great, and I do help others to change their lives now. So wherever you're at in your life, like you said,
mm,
there is always a way out, and there's always a change, and there's always a way. But I believe that if you believe in love and believe in yourself and believe in your opportunities that come into your life, even today, you created an opportunity for everyone to connect, which will actually change your life. And that's what I believe. And that's my share. Trying to wrap it up.
thank you. Thank you so much, Akemi. That's powerful. And I think what I learned from your story there is that love is a healer.
Hmm.
So if we can love, then many of our sicknesses and diseases will be gone. And
Indeed.
I'm saying to my audience, those of you that have had heartbreak one way or the other, and you feel that there is no love in the world, and you feel love is not possible, and you feel that love cannot work for you, we are here to tell you today that you need to rebel against that hate in your heart. You need to rebel against that hate that is around you and love again. Love is possible, and love will heal you. It will heal your bones, it will heal your emotions, it will heal your spirit, it will heal every part of you. Love is a healer. So let's look for an opportunity to love. Opportunity to love. Yes. And you see, when I go out there, sorry about that. When I go out there to give food to the widows, to give food to the elderly people, to give food to the sick, to give food to others, as I'm doing it, it's a great encounter for me. I feel that love. It makes me happy. And you see, it makes all my problems and troubles to roll away. In fact, I don't feel anxiety anymore when I do that. So love is a healer. So I think you need to look for an opportunity to love, because many people don't love. Many people don't love. Many people don't have love. We live in a time and in a season when love is rare. Love is rare. So, but when you make up your mind to love, when you begin to love, you begin to show love by giving, you begin to show love by supporting others, you begin to heal in your emotions. You begin to heal in your life. You begin to heal in your finances. Some of you are looking for something out there, but I've come to tell you today that love is what you need to get your finances back. Love is what you need to get your health back. Love is what you need to get your strength back, to get your relationships back. Everything you have lost in this life, with love, you can get it back. And can I tell you something? You see these wonderful 4 people that are here speaking to people all over the world right now. It's love that brought them. Some other people told me they had to charge me for me to pay them for them to come here. And they refused to come because I couldn't pay them. But these ones, they left. Look at Akemi. It's already like 12:30 a.m. in her place. But it's 1 a.m. right now in her place. But she is awake. And look, it's as if it's afternoon. She's not even feeling sleepy. Why? Because of love. That's why they are here. Every one of them, they are here today because of love. That's what love can do. Some of you are saying, oh, I've got to be paid for everything. But let me tell you, the greatest blessings that will come to you will not come to you through money. They will come to you. It's not money. Money is not everything. The greatest blessings are invisible. So that is why when I came in, closed the eyes and went into that, I appreciate that. I'm not against it. Because the greatest blessings, you can't see it with your eyes. You can't touch it with your hands. Love is a healer. My dear friends, my message to the world today in my birthday is to tell the world to love again. We need to love again.
It's inside you too. It's something from inside.
Come on. Oh my God. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I tell you. Echo, please, over to you. I'm sorry. Over to you, please.
There's nothing that you need to apologize for, John. It is something that I can tell that you're very passionate about, and it's a very powerful message when it comes to love and being free to love who you want and when you want and how you want. And I've been thinking during your show about the news story that you asked me about, why would a person actually marry an animal? And what comes up for me is that there's this cultural teaching that you can only be sexual with someone else by the sanctity of this institution of marriage, by going to the government or going to church and then being like, oh, now that we've gone through this ceremony, it's now okay to actually follow on my sexual desires and actually be with this person who I want to be with and I'm attracted to, and looking for that outside validation. And a lot of cultures go and say you should be with one person, only one person, where there is more of a there's actually more of a spectrum. Some of us are monogamous by nature, others of us are non-monogamous by nature. And it's possible to be ethically non-monogamous and to have multiple parts and for have that to actually be okay. There's a lot of things in culture that says it's not okay to be with someone of the same gender that you are. And when I was in college, when I was 21, I developed a friendship with a guy. And in that, he actually told me one night, you have a physically beautiful body. And you are beautiful. And I'm not talking about that inner beauty that everyone else talks about. I mean, your external body, how you physically are, is beautiful. And at 21 years old, that was the first positive thing I'd ever heard anyone else say about my body. And it was so touching to my heart to actually have someone say that I was beautiful. And when I actually said goodbye to him that night, he gave me a kiss on the lips. And like, wow, I did not expect that from one male-paid person to another. And it doesn't matter what kind of body that you're in. It doesn't matter who you want to love. It doesn't matter what your society says, like what's acceptable and what's not. You get to be true to you. And it's going back to the message of enlightened consent again, is that as long as you and the others that are involved are choosing to consent to it, it doesn't matter what anyone else outside thinks or feels about it. You don't need the blessing of a church or a deity, God, or a government to say it's actually okay to be sexual with that person. All you need is it's okay if the other person is saying, yes, I do want to be sexual with you, and I'm okay with it. And taking it back down to the individual level again of loving who you want to love and letting others love you who want to love you. And I think we just lost John. Yay. He'll be back. No.
We lost our host.
Should we continue?
Yeah, we're still live. Jeremy, what about your intake there?
Yes, you're
So yeah, the question was like a moment, a moment that changed everything. And for me, I was 20 and I had a lot of negative stuff going on in my life. I was working in a sandpaper factory, and there was an event with my martial arts stuff. The Grandmaster was coming into town. I couldn't make the workshop, but I made it to the social time afterwards. And we were playing pool, using that as a metaphor for different things in terms of angles and intentionality and focus, and really cool conversations. But my instructor heard me say something to myself about myself out loud that was negative, derogatory, destructive. And he stopped what he was doing and he looked me in the eye and he said, "Don't talk to yourself like that." And he held my gaze for a moment, and then he went back to what he was doing. And that moment was an opening for me. And I'm sure my parents had said stuff like that in various ways, but the way he said it, who he was in my life at the time, it landed in a different way. And it made me start paying attention to the internal dialogue, my own self-talk, to go back to Jason's point. And I began to unpack. Basically, I'm a master hypnotist now, among other things. And language, we hypnotize ourselves into believing things about ourselves. Again, go back to the beliefs and the references I talked about. It's not true, but we have references. Oh, it must be true because this thing happened and I feel this way, and we link them up in our brain and that becomes our reality. And so I had hypnotized myself in a lot of different ways to be who I was at the time. I had to delete a lot of my good characteristics and a lot of the actual nice things about me, because I had unresolved stuff from childhood. So because I felt this way that I wasn't aware of, to be true, I have to delete all this other good stuff. And so I began to start unpacking the way I was hypnotizing myself, the levels of self-talk. There's a great book by a guy named Shad Helmstetter. It's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And he breaks out 5 levels of self-talk. Negative acceptance, I can't. Recognition of need to change, I should, but I don't. Decision to change, I never, I no longer. The level of the better you, I am. And then universal affirmation, it is. And a lot of people talk about level 3. I never, I no longer. I never oversleep. I never overeat. I'm never late. I'm never rude. And the danger of that, you're recognizing you need to change, but you're telling a story that is obsessively about a thing you don't want. I never overeat. I never oversleep. So we get rid of the word never. You're talking about, you're thinking about sleep, oversleeping, overeating constantly. The level 4, the level of the you, I am. I wake up, I'm excited and ready for my day. All of my habits are healthy. I am on time. I love to be early. When you start to tell yourself that more powerful story, it pulls you to a different way of being. You can actually say, all of my habits are healthy while you're still smoking. But if you keep telling yourself that enough, you're going to hit when 51% of your internal reality believes all my habits are healthy. A part of you is going to look at the cigarette and go, oh, and put it away all by itself. Not willpower. It's just that behavior is incongruent with the real truth of who I am. And you've told that hypnosis, you've told that truth of who you really are enough times, that seed you planted has borne fruit and that behavior changes. And so we can hypnotize ourselves. And then, I used to do a lot of work with kids, and it's like, well, but if you're saying stuff that's not true, that's lying. Is it a lie? Or if you do this enough time, you're going to get to that higher level. So aren't you just telling the truth in advance? You're telling a truth from the future of who you're going to be and how you're going to be. So you're just going to tell that now to help drive you that direction. And that was the big takeaway for me, was the way I talked to myself. I was programming myself to be a jerk. And when I stopped that, everything began to change. So, absolutely pay attention. The words you say, but even the words you think inside your own head and inside your own heart, there's a weight to it. There's a cost to it. So be very conscientious of the way you speak to yourself, the way you allow yourself even to think about yourself. You don't have to agree with negative thoughts. You have a random thought, you're like, but that's not me. I don't think that way. That's not what I really think. You just tell that thought, that's not the truth. Here's the real truth. And then you say it. Say the stronger version of you, and that will make your life easier. That will make your life more powerful over time.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jeremy. And thank you so much, Iko. I really enjoyed what you were saying before I was knocked off the studio. Iko, let me tell you something about my own experience. I've been to 13 countries. And I noticed one thing. As I travel, I see somebody and I say, hey, you are handsome. And he says, me, handsome? And so people tell me, anybody have never said that to me. So when I say you are handsome, at times they say, you're lying, or you're not serious, or you're just, so when you said that for the first time you heard somebody saying this to you at the age of 13 years, I was not surprised, because as I interact with people around the world, I noticed that one thing that is difficult for people to give in this world is positive compliment. Positive compliment, encouragement is something that is difficult for people to give. You see? So, but you've got to rebel against that selfishness or selfish mentality whereby you feel that you can't appreciate somebody else. You see, the more you appreciate another person, the more you are appreciating yourself. The more you value others, the more you value yourself. The more you praise others, the more praise comes to you. And whatever you do to others, you are doing to divinity, to God. Let me put it that way. So with that, I think
totally
we have
agree with
come. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you so much.
One of the things that I would like to go and add on to that is, what I've learned is that you can only love, accept, and appreciate someone else to the level and depth you love and accept and appreciate yourself first. And you can
Yes.
only
Yes.
feel loved, accepted, and appreciated to the level and depth that you love, accept, and appreciate yourself first.
Mm.
And
Ah,
there are whole industries out there that tell us to be satisfied of like, you're not pretty enough, you're not good enough, you're not enough in a lot of ways. And being able to actually start a self-love practice, go up to
others,
the
you are
mirror
doing,
and love you and I
divinity.
accept you just as you are right now, and look yourself in the eye, can be very transformative.
Thank you so much. And we have come to the end of the first show. We are going to be coming back in like 2 hours, 30 minutes time, about 2 hours and 40 minutes. We are going to be back again. And I want to wrap up by saying, my dear friends, wherever you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are blessed, you are loved, you are great. In fact, I appreciate you so much. That's why I had to decide today that what I'm going to do on my birthday is to share these wonderful words with the world. And I believe you've listened to these great speakers and you've enjoyed them. You've learned something from them. As you watch the replay, please leave a comment for us and let us know what this show has done in your life. Please tell your friends, because there's going to be a second session. There's going to be a third session today. It's going to be awesome. The birthday has just begun. Thank you so much. So thank you, Justin. Thank you, Akemi. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Iko. Yeah. So would you say just one last word? Just one last word, and then we close.
I would say kindness is contagious. Those 3 words, but kindness is the what would be great.
Thank you.
I would
Akemi?
say gratitude. I would say gratitude. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for being you.
Jeremy?
Appreciation is better than expectation or obligation, always.
Wow. Iko.
You are
Iko, yeah?
worthy simply because you exist.
Wow. Thank you, guys. So we'll come your way again in the next 2 hours and about 40 minutes. Stay motivated. This is Motivational Monday Live. God bless you. Bye.
Have a great birthday. Take care.